Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abam, and welcome to a very, 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 very special event. The Chazak Shidduchim initiative together with the Orthodox Union, the OU. And it's going to be a very, very inspiring, uplifting program. Shidduchim during the pandemic. It's been a very crazy 3, 4, 5 months since March. And you're going to be hearing about creative tips, tools, and guidance to navigate and expanding your dating network. We're going to be hearing from world-renowned lecturer, our very dear friend, Rabbi Zecharia Wallerstein, and we're going to be hearing from experts from various different Shidduchim initiatives. And Chazak is very excited to be part of this program. We want to thank our very energetic Mrs. Odelia Jacobs for initiating another great program. And we're really, really excited about this whole concept. You'll be hearing a lot about this whole initiative, the Chazak Shidduchim initiative, and the Mitzvah we're looking to help and make a nucleus for all the singles all across America to bring everyone together to one united organization, one united forum for guidance of Shidduchim. We're going to start off the program by calling upon our very dear friend, the Chazak events manager, Rabbi Abaf, who does so much for Klal Yisrael. He's going to be introducing the experts for this part of the program.
Tonight we are honored to hear from 4 experts in the field of Shidduchim. This event is being presented, is partnered together with Chazak and the Orthodox Union. So we are honored to hear opening remarks from Rabbi Moshe Hauer, who's the Executive Vice President of the Orthodox Union. Rabbi Hauer.
Hi, thank you so much. I am not Rabbi Hauer. I am David Pardo. I am here in his stead, extending wishes of divrei bracha v'hatzlacha and gratitude on behalf of the Orthodox Union. We're very happy and excited to be able to partner on this event, bringing it to fruition. Very important to hear from the people who are the experts in the field, and I'm excited as you are to learn from them tonight. A quick thought, if you look in the Gemara in Bava Batra, that talks about why we celebrate this this day of romance on Tu B'Av specifically, there's a list of things that Taka don't seem very romantic. So the list includes the permission to the generation of the desert to go into Israel, who were otherwise condemned to die in the desert. So good news, but not very romantic. Or the fact that the last king of Israel, Moshe ben Allah, removes all the guards that were preventing the people in the north from coming down to Yerushalayim to worship in Yerushalayim together. Great news, not very romantic. Or the fact that we were allowed to bury the dead of Beitar on this day. Great news, but not very romantic. So, what does all of this have to do with romance, and how are we to understand Tu B'Av? And I'd like to very quickly suggest that it's a day not of romance, but yes, of love. And love is not just between a man and a woman, a husband and wife, but it's really the commitment and the sacrifice and what we do for each other. That on this day that we committed to going into Israel and building a nation for all of us, that we would represent Hashem's people on earth, that we were allowed to honor our dead, that we were allowed to worship together, whether you lived in this kingdom or that kingdom, we were all Jews. And I think that's what love is about. And I think that's what this event is about. Sometimes Shidduchim can be very lonely. Sometimes dating can feel like you're on your own and you're fighting for yourself. And it's not true. It shouldn't be true. Nothing we do in life, we do alone. It takes a village. So this event is not just for the people who are dating. This is for their parents and for their friends and for their cousins and for their neighbors. I heard recently a story about a guy and a girl dating. In the end didn't work out, fine. But the guy really thought, she'd be great for my friend, and made the recommendation. And they went out and they got married, and they're happy, thank God, with kids. So that act, saying, not for me, but maybe for my friend, was that an act of romance? No, but I think it was an act of love. And my thanks to the people who are speaking tonight, who work tirelessly day and night for different organizations, but for one cause. And again, my warmest wishes and hatzlacha on this new initiative Chazak is embarking on. Glad to be able to do this event together and looking forward to seeing your hatzlacha, Rabbi Yaniv, and Rabbi, and the tireless Odelia. Looking forward to seeing and dancing together with everybody at the next Simcha in person, Be'ezrat Hashem.
Our next speaker is Mr. Mark Goldman. Mr. Goldman is the founder and CEO of Soyu at Sinai. Soyu at Sinai is a leading Jewish dating and matchmaking service and website that enables singles to meet shadchanim, and to date they have successfully made over 3,500 Shidduchim matches. It's an amazing accomplishment. For more information about this worthy, definitely great organization, great resource, go to soyuatsinai.com. It's an honor to call upon Mr. Mark Goldman.
Thank you to Rabbi Moshe Hauer, Rabbi David Pardo from the OU, Rabbi Yaniv Meirov, and Mr. Rabbi Aboff of Chazak, and of course, the ever-persistent, energetic, and caring Odelia Jacobs for coordinating this event for the second year. The coronavirus has created an incredible, challenging environment for people all over the world. There has been devastating loss of life, and just here in the United States alone, 150,000 deaths. Many people's economic lives have been shattered. As we just reported, second quarter GDP plunged by a worst ever 32.9% due to COVID virus-induced shutdowns. To say that the past 4 months have been incredibly challenging will be understating the tragic impact that the COVID pandemic has created. Many people's lives will never be the same. May Hashem comfort all those who have been impacted and help each person move forward. We are celebrating Tu B'Av, and we can learn directly from this celebration how we believe as Jewish people that we need to emerge from incredible times of pain and suffering. Just 1 week ago on Tisha B'Av, we sat on the ground and mourned the numerous Jewish tragedies, including the destruction of the first and second Beis HaMikdash. Only 1 week later, we are celebrating one of the happiest days of the year, Tu B'Av, one where men and women used to go out and celebrate and find their bashert. We learn from here that we cannot and that we should not sit at home and endlessly bemoan our circumstances. And no matter how hard, go out into the world and positively take action and move forward. Move our lives forward and constructively move the lives forward of those who are around us. We launched Soyu at Sinai more than 15 years ago as our way to positively affect change and improvement within the shidduch, the matchmaking process. Our approach and system features continuously improved and evolved over the years. But the basic premise remains unchanged. Soyu at Sinai combines powerful technology, accessibility of the internet, while emphasizing privacy and striving to keep the personal touch of the shadchan. People enter their own resume of information. Then the shadchanim get to know each person and review each match to see if a person's unique personality and needs are met. Soyu at Sinai was never meant to replace the shadchanim, but make their jobs significantly easier. The over 300 shadchanim who use the platform are currently helping over 35,000 singles find their bashert, their spouse. The over 3,500 people who have now successfully found their spouse through our network of shadchanim can attest to its success. We have also expanded and created a platform where any major organization who wanted to help their students, their participants, and their alumni could have their own website free of charge. They did not have to spend the time, money, or their limited resources in recreating what Soyu at Sinai had already successfully done. We have therefore become the system of choice for 20 major Jewish organizations, including yeshivot, seminaries, and outreach organizations. Not surprising, we work with the 3 incredible partners of today's Shidduchim during the pandemic event, Yeshiva University through their YU Connects platform, the Orthodox Union through their JLIC Connections platform, and most recently began working with Adopt a Shadchan's platform. 3 Shidduch platforms are now able to synergistically help each other make more Shidduchim and more families. During the past 3 months, there has been a big shift in the way that people are interacting and meeting each other. As Soyotzane has repeatedly done over the years, we spoke with our partners, our Shadchanim, and our users to determine which tools they needed to find their spouse in the new COVID environment. Group Zoom dating, where 10 to 12 participants are in a Zoom room and a moderator assists in moderating and facilitating the group, was a new phenomenon. People who never use the internet to help them date are now group dating online. Many organizations were trying to run their Zoom events, but there were common challenges they encountered in running them that made it extremely difficult. It was difficult to capture relevant information, to correctly place people in appropriate Zoom rooms. It was even more challenging to track which people had already been introduced, obtain timely feedback from participants regarding who they were interested in, and finally, difficulty for Shadchanim to follow up on the post-event matches. We therefore created a new Soyotzane module that organizations were allowed to use, that organized, automated, and facilitated the running of the events. Thousands of potential matches have already been managed through our Zoom-based module. It is important for Zoom dating participants to adapt and properly prepare for their new dating experience. A few, but important helpful tips when joining an event are the follows. First, use a laptop and not a cell phone to check out what angle your camera is at, as you do not want to be people looking at your chin rather than your entire face. Prepare for a video date as you would for a normal date. There is no need to overdress, but put some effort, at least from the waist up. Choose a backdrop that shows off your interests, and do not forget to clean up the room around you. Ensure good lighting. If possible, use natural light from a window. If using light from your home, then make sure it's not too dark or too strong, that you're not in a halo, and there's no shadow surrounding you. A light in front of you is best at approximately a 45-degree angle, but most importantly, and finally, whatever environment you set up, test your device and the environmental surrounding. Make sure you have a strong internet connection and the sound quality is appropriate. There could always be glitches, and preparing in advance is a great way to ensure the greatest possibility of success. Yes, this is not necessarily the way you expected to be dating, but we learn from Tu B'Av. You need to be proactive and sometimes even go out of your usual comfort zone. And as I said at last year's Chazak event, Soyotzane's goal continues to be to help every person to find their match by creating a system which improves the shidduch process and supplies a system which makes every shadchan and every event organizer's job significantly easier. Their time should be spent on making matches and less time on fundraising and performing administrative tasks. A special thank you to all the shadchanim who dedicate a myriad of hours matching people, and to each and every one of you who are spending your valuable time helping others find their spouse and bashert.
Thank you, Mr. Goldman, for your informative words. Thank you so much. And again, to contact Soyotzane, go to the website soyotzane.com for more information about their amazing resource, about the amazing organization, which has helped out so many shidduchim. Our next speaker is Rebbe Marjorie Glatt, who's representing YU Connects, which is an amazing organization, amazing resource, which is a self-funded program that offers unique social events, targeted matchmaking, and educational programs to foster healthy relationships towards marriage. Rebbe Marjorie Glatt is the special projects coordinator for YU Connects and arranges programming and advises community on initiatives for singles And to contact for more information about this great organization, go to yuconnects.com. It is an honor to call upon Rebbetzin Glatt.
What a great idea, this event for Shidduchim. Shout out to Odelia Jacobs, the Chazak team, the OU, Rabbi Wallerstein, and the other speakers, of course. Isn't it wonderful how so many programs and people can come together to bring people together to make Shidduchim? I'm the Special Projects Coordinator for YU Connects, and I'm here because I have important and good news to share, especially during the pandemic and after the 3 weeks. It's always good to hear good news. And you know what we have found recently? The dating world has shifted, and it's not necessarily for the worse. At YU Connects, we've been, Baruch Hashem, successful in the past. Our database of thousands of singles under the excellent Saw You at Sinai system is just one part of our nonprofit program. YU Connects is more than just that. We're open to the entire Jewish world, not only Yeshiva University students. And we are really a one-stop dating resource with dozens of volunteer matchmakers, 3 wonderful staff connectors, matchmakers, a friendly administrator who answers questions, all under the supervision of Dr. Efrat Sobolovsky. We do much more. We do matchmaker training and on sensitivity and professionalism. We run numerous social events. We offer practical and personal guidance. We do publications, and we are a one-stop resource for the Jewish world. And we have made, Baruch Hashem, with the help of Hashem, we've brought 422 couples together. That's engagements. That's 844 people have been united thanks to YU Connects. When COVID struck our area in March, everything shifted. The dating world was upended. It was unprecedented times for all of us. Unmarried men and women wondered if their own personal lockdown would continue, and for how long. One young woman texted us. She said, "I'm 28 years old. Having 3 months in a shutdown is just going to be another obstacle in my way. How will I ever get a chance to meet?" But I said, I'm here to share good news. And indeed there is, on 3 levels. From YU Connects, for the singles themselves, and for Klal Yisrael. Why? Because although social distancing exists, or maybe because it exists, our reach has now become greater. What do I mean by that? At YU Connects, the strength in our resources quickly became apparent. Questions started coming in, fast and furious. Can I still date? Do I have to wear a mask? Do I have to go in separate cars? Am I allowed to travel to meet someone's parents? And these questions kept coming into our office. But we're fortunate to be able to rely and turn to great Gedolim, such as Rosh Yeshiva, like Rav Herschel Schechter, Rav Mordechai Willig, Rav Tzvi Sobolovsky. And we relied on the guidance and medical expertise of my husband, Rabbi Dr. Aaron Glatt, an infectious disease specialist. So within days, we were able to disseminate safe dating guidelines and answer some of those questions. But we also supplied more. We supplied tangible ideas for FaceTime or Zoom dating, virtual dating. We gave links to the San Diego Zoo. We said, take this course together, or here's a simple online game to play. We developed small group conversations with expert facilitators, Zoom with whoms, we called them. They were fun questions that made people think and laugh together. We ran a marriage enhancement seminar that was very popular. At the end of March, we had something called the New World of Dating webinar with experts, and hundreds of people logged on to listen. We're running Meet the Matchmaker nights, where people can virtually meet matchmakers and get to know them from all over. And you know what we're finding? We have people joining from across the globe. One 30-year-old physician was able to be part of our seminar from Wisconsin. Others joined from California. And one young man stayed up until 4 in the morning to participate in the discussions from Israel. So YU Connects has gotten creative, and we've been able to expand our reach. But on a more personal and heartwarming level, we are finding that people are more open. When a match idea is proposed, people say, it's just a phone call or a video chat. There's less effort, less stress, it's easier to accept. People have a why not attitude. And if a woman comes from a different yeshiva, or the guy's not in a certain career, or even if they're not the ages they expected somebody to be, somebody's a little older, people are becoming more accepting. And they're realizing once they meet that of course it doesn't really matter, some of those externals. So the reach of YU Connects for the singles population themselves, and finally, even for Klal Yisrael, is becoming broader. Communities from Toronto to London have contacted us to learn about our initiatives and share what they are doing. Programs such as this are uniting people. Much like this, we're exchanging ideas, we're collaborating on different ways to help. WhatsApp chats are popping up and exchanging ideas. Lovely people are offering their backyards as venues for dating. Everyone is joining together and wanting to help. And they seem excited, and it's working. In this Sukkos, may we all continue to join together in strength and in good health to continue to build future Jewish homes for all of Klal Yisrael. I'd also want to add, if anybody has any questions or wants to contact us at YU Connects, please feel free to contact us through our website, www.yuconnects.com. Our information and contact information is there, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebbe Glad, for your informative presentation. Everyone should check out YU Connects, which is a great resource, a great organization, which is doing so much for the Jewish community. For more information about YU Connects, go to the website yuconnects.com. Our next speaker is Mrs. Bayla Yaniv, representing Partners in Shidduchim. Partners in Shidduchim is a free Shomer Shabbos Shidduch database which enables singles or a representative to be empowered by searching and making a match on their very own, which is an amazing thing. For more information about Partners in Shidduchim, go to the website partnersinshidduchim.com. Mrs. Bayla Yaniv is the founder of Partners in Shidduchim, and is honored to call upon Mrs. Yaniv.
Hi. There's a famous mashal that most of you are probably familiar with, but it is so relevant to today that I must share it again. A storm was coming, and the city's inhabitants were warned to flee. As the rainwaters flooded the streets, SUVs and Jeeps came to help evacuate those who stayed behind, but a man refused to leave his home, saying he was waiting for Hashem to save him. The SUV left, the floodwaters rose, and the man had to climb to the second floor of his house. A boat came by a window to rescue him, but he refused to get on, saying he was waiting for Hashem to save him, and the boat left. As the waters continued to rise, he climbed to the roof of his home, and a helicopter came to rescue along with a team, and they threw down a rope, but he refused to climb up, saying he was waiting for Hashem to save him. Sadly, he drowned, and when he got to the gates of Shemayim, Hashem said, "Why didn't you continue living?" And the man replied, "I was waiting for you, Hashem, to save me." And Hashem said, "I did. Through messengers and vehicles, I sent an SUV, a boat, a helicopter, but you didn't let me save you." When my husband and I founded Partners in Shidduchim, it was designed to be unique in its mission. We view it as a modern-day Tu B'Av. There is no stronger message we can say today on Tu B'Av. When the most precious Jewish girl in the old days put on a white dress, went to the fields to be matched with her pashert, and precious young men went out to find their kala. Family and friends and community were involved in this festive gathering. We at Partners in Shidduchim, with the same hashkafa, with endorsements of leading Rabbanim and Agudas Yisrael of America and Chazak, invite our precious sons and daughters to join our database. For reasons of modesty or to protect the singles' privacy for those who are more sensitive, everyone has the option whether or not to include a photo, and to maintain anonymity, they can choose not to include their last name on the profile. But the point is to be out there. Rather than only let designated matchmakers search the site, we allow everyone who undergoes a profile review and screening to have access. It's no different if you go to a wedding, to shul, or to the supermarket and see someone single and try to read them a shidduch. People have to be out there and accessible. Today, especially during Corona, when people are not socializing as much, this is a critical site for singles to be able to set themselves up and to have others set them up. And we protect them. Singles do not have to include their personal contact information, but can have a personal advocate, liaison, a pal to be in contact and do the screening. Another great tool we have is a search tool. You can search by age, height, gender, hashkafa, geography, and more. You don't have to waste time going through thousands of profiles, but have the computer sort out those that fit your criteria. We have dozens of well-known professional and active shadchanim who access the profiles. But that's really not what the site is about. This is about empowering each and every one of you, singles, fathers, mothers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, neighbors, coworkers, the list goes on, to be your pal, your personal advocate, liaison, shadchan. Hashem makes shidduchim, and we do not know who's going to be the shaliach, but it could be you. All you need is a half hour each week. Go on the site, check new people who signed up, and set up people you know, or even people you don't know. We're also working with a team of volunteers to help singles write better profiles. Remember, this is a fully free site. No one pays any fees. So there is no excuse why every single person watching this now does not go on the site today and upload profiles of at least one single they know. And if you know more singles, sign them up. Or spend a little time every week setting people up. Or if you're a good writer, help our singles improve their profiles as a chesed. Just think of how many more shidduchim would be made if each of us would just take a little time every week. This is an opportunity. Partners in Shidduchim empowers everyone to make Shidduchim. Again, we are empowered, and we want you to be empowered in participating in this global network to help you get over your hurdles and under the chuppah. Partners in Shidduchim accommodates the sensitivities of different segments of Shomer Shabbos, of the Shomer Shabbos world. With just a few clicks, you can bring singles to the chuppah. So to summarize, there are 5 points. 1, don't wait. Be proactive. Go on our website, www.partnersinshidduchim.com. Number 2, those of you who are not comfortable to go on the website, whether because of tznius or privacy, we provide an option for your profile. You don't need to load a picture. You need only put your first name and designate a pal who will screen the requests, reaching out to match you and join you in browsing together for matches and work on your behalf to make the match happen. Number 3, the platform empowers everyone, and I will reiterate, parents, grandparents, siblings, friends and family, co-workers and singles themselves, and shadchanim, to utilize this global Shomer Shabbos Shidduch network to match singles you know and singles that you don't know. Number 4, we cannot emphasize enough the importance of getting a pal to respond to people who want to match you and advocate on your behalf. Besides the professional shadchanim, this system enables you to be personally involved with someone who's working specifically on your behalf. And if you need to learn more about what a pal is all about, please email us. Number 5, we are endorsed by leading Rabbanim across the world and Agudas Yisrael of America and Chazak. We look forward to you reaching out to us. Email support@partnersinshidduchim.com to answer your questions. You matter to us. And let us know when you get engaged so that we can celebrate the good news with you.
Thank you, Mrs. Yaniv, for your words and for all the great work you do on behalf of the singles. For more information about Partners in Shidduchim, go to the website partnersinshidduchim.com. Again, the website is partnersinshidduchim.com. Everyone should check out that amazing resource. Our next speaker is Mrs. Lisa Elephant, who's representing Adopt a Shadchan. Adopt a Shadchan partners with shuls and communities with dedicated shadchanim to make the shidduch process targeted and sustainable. Every single can have a dedicated shadchan to advocate and guide them. Mrs. Lisa Elephant is the founder of Adopt a Shadchan. It is an honor to call upon Mrs. Lisa Elephant.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Elephant. I am one of the proud directors and co-founders of Adopt a Shadchan. Hodu Lashem Ki Tov. It's truly an honor for me to speak for Chazak and for my dear friend Odelia Jacobs. Odelia has actually seen firsthand what Adopt a Shadchan has been accomplishing over these last few months. She's with us together on our Shadchan WhatsApp chat, only open to Adopt a Shadchan Shadchanim. She sees what happens on a daily basis. And I was actually thinking this morning that Odelia and Chazak, Adopt a Shadchan probably owes you some Shadchanis. Going back a year, Chazak graciously invited me to speak about Adopt a Shadchan last year, and it was just really like a seedling of an idea, and Baruch Hashem, it grew and grew and grew to an amazing, amazing organization. We've had over 15 Shidduchim this year from shuls, inter-shuls, from the Adopt a Shadchan program, and through another program that I'll talk about just towards the end of my speech that I created over Zoom due to the pandemic. We just celebrated our second Shidduch. They started on Zoom, then they met in person, and now they're Baruch Hashem. One is married and one is Baruch Hashem engaged. So Odelia called me last year to speak about Adopt a Shadchan. I was a little hesitant. I'm not really a speaker, as a lot of you know. I don't enjoy speaking. I leave that to my brother-in-law Zecharia and to my amazing sister Chevi. But I had no choice. She connected me last year to Mark Goldman from Soyo at Sinai, who has been an incredible, incredible person who has created the Adopt a Shadchan database from scratch for us. He has a share, he has a part in everything that we are accomplishing and that we hope to accomplish. We also made connections with Margie Glatt and Efrat Sobolowski from YU Connect. And besides becoming great personal friends, we also have been doing projects together, which also just, usually there was like YU does YU, and, Adopt a Shadchan does Adopt a Shadchan Shidduchim. We've kind of like crossed all boundaries here, which is what we really, really want to do. So please, Chazak and Odelia, remind us, we do owe you Shadchanis. And we are really looking forward to doing many, many things with the partnerships that we have created. On this special Yantif of Tu B'Av, a day that is Mesugal for Shidduchim, I'm especially excited to talk a little bit about what Adopt a Shadchan has been accomplishing the last year, both pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, we created Adopt a Shadchan with a current and still a future goal of creating a platform where no single gets left behind. We believe that every single has the same entitlement, the same right to be recognized by Shadchanim. There's no reason why one girl should be getting 20 suggestions and one girl should be getting none. We really want to try to even the playing field. At the same time, and many of those may not see this my way, but I see it as being in the field, Shadchanim need to be recognized by the singles and by their families as people who spend untold hours networking and scouring the world for your child's bashert. Sometimes finding that one person, that needle in the haystack right away. Sometimes it might take months, sometimes it may take years. We all know that we are not in control. We are all just messengers, and we all daven every day to be good messengers. But we have to know that any Shadchan who devotes so many hours of her or his time to this inyan is working for the klal, is working for you. Whether it's you, whether it's your cousins, your friend's cousin, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your shul member, Nobody doesn't know anybody that doesn't need a shidduch. It's not possible. The list goes on and on. A busy shadchan on any day can receive over 100 WhatsApps, 50 to 60 calls, all calls and WhatsApps that the shadchan wants to return. She wants to respond and return all those calls. She really does. But she often can't due to family and job responsibilities. It can take, I can wake up in the morning, it can literally take me an hour and a half just to respond from dates, just to respond to questions, and I can't tell you that I can always get to it. And it does cause frustration, but trust me, you're frustrated and the shadchan is frustrated. So what do? So therefore, Adopt a Shadchan came up with a program where each shul, doesn't even have to be a shul, it could be a community, it could be an alumni grade, where they can hire their own personal shadchan, subsidized by all the members of the shul, all the members of the grade. Even if all your kids are married, even if most of your classmates are married and you still have 3 or 4 classmates left, let everybody contribute $18, $25 a month towards the hiring of a shadchan who will network on those people. What a bracha it is for you that you were able to marry off all your children. But maybe the person who sits next to you can't say the same, and maybe he's coming to shul crying inside all the time. And this is your way to help him. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Adopt a Shadchan is giving you an idea. We consider Shidduchim to be life-changing, life-saving work. We would think that Shadchanim deserve to be paid. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, but for their time. Not just for a completed shidduch, and I think like a lot of people feel, okay, shadchanim will come paid when they make the shidduch. The chances of a fantastic, phenomenal, top-of-the-line shadchan, if he's lucky and he's having an amazing year, will make 20 shidduchim a year. And that's like top of the top. What about the shadchanim that put in so much time, so much effort, get burnt out? So we feel that if we can treat it a little bit as a job, whether it be a part-time job or a full-time job, it might make things, feel easier on both sides. The shul community group would hire 1 or 2 shadchanim to meet and then network for their singles. And we mean your boys too, not just your girls. By pooling the shul together, it lessens the burden and sense of isolation many people feel. This way you're a group, you're doing it together. The shadchan will come down, whether it's through Zoom, whether it's in person, and she'll get to know your child in a short interview, and then after that she'll use the resources that Adopt a Shadchan has given her. The Adopt a Shadchan database, which is still information. Right now we have about 1,600 singles in our database. We're obviously looking to fill it up more, but it's definitely a great start. That's a lot of people, and we're also now over the summer working to interview shadchanim that we feel appropriate that we would allow to access our database and set up the singles on those databases. In addition, we've also formed an Adopt a Shadchan WhatsApp chat, which is comprised of over 150 shadchanim from all over the world. America, Israel, France, Belgium, you name it. I don't think there's an area yet that we haven't covered. I don't think we have covered Hawaii, actually, or Alaska, but other than that, I think we're good. And if anybody knows a shadchan in Hawaii, please have her reach out to me. I'd love to have her on. And we network for each other. We featured certain singles, and we do it in a very bakavadika way, and we've actually made shidduchim from even just the group. Women working together, just really all in it for the right reasons. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, and that you may want your shul or grade, or if you have if you have some kind of group, you can definitely check out our website at adoptashadchan.com. That will definitely give you some information, and you can also email us at adoptashadchan@gmail.com. So again, I just want to I know that I spoke about it on a more general level, just really in a very quick nutshell. What we're really doing is that the group as a whole, you're going to adopt a shadchan. It might be 1 shadchan, it might be 2 shadchanim, depending on how many singles you have in your shul. It would be about $25 a month, each family, whether you have a child in shidduchim or not. You give to Hatzalah, you give to Tomchei Shabbos. Let's go. Shidduchim, important, life-saving, life-changing for the single. We ask for a 3-month commitment. Give us a little bit of time. The shadchan has to get to know the singles. That's usually month 1. And then number 2 and 3 to really get the names out there and get ideas flowing. The shadchan will commit to spending about 16 hours a week on Shidduchim for her shul members. It does not make it that she is exclusive only to her shul, but it is a commitment that she will work 16 hours a week. It's 3 or 4 hours a day, however many however many days she wants to work it out, and that's a very, very fair and normal number. It will also make Shidduchim a more personalized experience, knowing that if you have a question, you don't have to feel guilty, about bothering a shadchan. That you can text her, and she knows your kid, and she kind of adopted you. I'm still connected to people from my shul, who I've made Shidduchim for, and we still talk because they still call me with ideas for their friends. You're kind of like developing a relationship. We also offer coaching and support, which in today's time is crucial, especially with the whole pandemic, corona, really threw a lot of things upside down. Shadchanim now have to deal with not only the usual, but is the place open? Do I have to wear a mask? Can I pick her up? Can I do a backyard date? How long should it be? There's just a lot of very, very complicated things now that were thrown in with corona. But we're doing it. Adopt a shadchan. We are just rolling with it. We're rolling with the punches. And we just see that by having all members of a shul, community, or school contribute as a unit to provide the opportunity, we're sending a powerful message. We're sending a powerful message to ourselves. We're sending a powerful message to Hashem that we are all in this together. Kol hareivim zeh lazeh. And we all feel that no single should be left behind. And again, just check out our website, adoptashadchan.com, or if you would like to send us an email to find out how you can become a part of this, you can also send us an email at adoptashadchan@gmail.com. I just want to end off with fast forwarding to COVID-19. Okay, I don't remember the exact date. I think it was about 2 weeks before Pesach. And many singles, especially in their mid to upper 20s, were totally in a panic. What will my dating life be? If my dating life wasn't, pathetic before, like what can it possibly be now? Pesach is coming, my family's coming, or weren't coming. This is such a hard time to begin with. They were totally, I got so many texts. What's my dating life going to look like over the next 3 months, over the next 6 months, over the next 9 months? Adopt a shadchan felt their pain. We really did. And we didn't say, oh boy, we have a problem. You guys are in for a long haul. Like I refuse to accept that. It's like somebody who's running around a building screaming, fire, fire, fire. That's great. But then there's the person who's showing everybody the fire exit, showing them how to get out the door. So that's what we felt like. Everyone was panicking, screaming, crying. This is crazy. Adopt a shadchan was like, hold on, we got this. So I created an amazing Zoom speed dating program, and we just actually celebrated the second engagement, not date, the second engagement from the Zoom speed dating events, which I'm not going into it now, but there are about, I would say, over 300 singles from all over the world, including Canada, that have participated in it. And I'm sure over the next couple of months, people will be hearing about it. And we've had speakers, and we're going to be posting a short video about what we've been doing about it on our site, if you follow Instagram, and also on our Adopt a Shadchan site. And we basically, created for them. I brought in speakers, we gave them chizuk, and we also gave them tools of what to do that when dating life does come back to normal, and hopefully Mirz Hashem Mashiach will come, and we will not need this that much longer, but Adopt a Shadchan basically trained them and brought in people to help train them on how to be better daters, what things to look for in a spouse, what things are important, and it's really made a huge change. So Adopt a Shadchan is not just, another shidduch organization, which again, they're all great and wonderful, but Adopt a Shadchan is taking literally, just taking innovative, creative ideas, and we're just going with it. So whether you're a single who wants to be a part of it, or if you're a shadchan that it sounds like this might something be up your alley, You want to be part of this. Get involved. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
Thank you very much to all the experts. Thank you very much to Rabbi. Okay, at this time we have with us world-renowned lecturer. We're really excited about this. Rabbi Zecharia Wallerstein is with us to give us some guidance and chizuk on the matter. So without further ado, we have Rabbi Zecharia Wallerstein.
Good evening, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to be speaking for the Chazak Shidduch initiative tonight. Their amazing initiative to get into every single shul, to give the venue every single month of what's going on for singles, for Shidduchim. And I happen to know Chazak for many, many years, and whatever they do, B'li Ayin Hara, they have a lot of siyata d'shmaya, and they're going to be very, very successful. I'd like to tell you a couple of stories today, and maybe give a little bit chizuk to all of those who are in Shidduchim. So the first story is a story actually brought in the Medrash Tanchuma, an amazing story about Shlomo HaMelech, and I'm going to read it to you from inside. Most people don't know this story. Ma'aseh b'Shlomo HaMelech. There's a story about Shlomo HaMelech. Shehayis bas yafia. He had a beautiful, no one even knows about this. He had a very beautiful daughter. She'ein kamosa b'chol Eretz Yisrael. There was not another girl that beautiful in the whole world. Now, every father thinks his daughter is the most beautiful. But here, the Medrash Tanchuma is saying, witness that his daughter was the most beautiful girl in the whole Eretz Yisrael. So, Shlomo HaMelech, hibit b'mazolois, don't do this, but Shlomo HaMelech could do that. He looked in the signs of the stars. Mi ben zuga. Who is she going to marry? Who's her ben zivug? Umi yisena. V'rashu ani echad. Shlomo HaMelech saw that this boy that's going to marry his beautiful daughter was very poor. You know how poor, everybody? Ein b'Yisrael ani kamoisai. In the whole Jewish nation, he was the poorest guy in the whole Jewish nation. Shlomo HaMelech was not happy. Ma'asa, what did he do? Bana migdal gavoya bayam. He built a tower in the middle of the sea, like on an island, surrounded by water, like Alcatraz, surrounded by water in San Francisco that nobody would be able to escape. So that's what he did. And he built a wall around this tower. Natal Bito, he took his daughter, and he put her on the top of the tower. And he put 70 of the elders, because he didn't want anyone to have any relations with her, so he picked very old men, and he put 70 of them on the bottom, surrounded this migdal, this tower. Okay, and guess what? Says the Medrash, there was no door. There was no door on the bottom of the tower. No human being could get in there. Okay, and he put a lot of food in there for her. And he said, listen to this, Amar, Era Poel Hashem Umasehu. It says that God makes Shidduchim. Well, how is God going to get a guy surrounded by water, surrounded by a wall, a tower that has no door? My daughter's on the top of this tower. Hashem can't pull this one off. Okay? Many days later, this poor boy, Nebuch, Shehu ben Zavuga, he was the one that was supposed to marry her. He went out at night. He was half undressed. He never had no clothing. Roy Vitsama, starving and thirsty. And it was freezing. And he saw that a dead shore, a dead ox had just died, and it was laying in the field. So he cut open the ox, and he went into its innards, which was still warm, and he went to sleep there to stay warm that night. Otherwise, he would have frozen to death. Okay? While he was sleeping, Ba'if Gadol. It's a fascinating story. A huge bird, a huge eagle came. But not the Lasa Nevela. And it lifted up this Nevela, this dead animal, to go eat it. But it couldn't hold on to it because it was so heavy. So it couldn't get to where it's perched. V'nasa agag oisa migdal achada bechura, and he dropped the ox onto the mapeset, onto the porch on top of this tower because it was very high and this is where the bird was flying. And that night, the eagle ate the dead body of the shar. V'yoshev shamal agag, and it stayed on the roof. Kishi'ir hashacha, when the sun came out in the morning, the bechura, this girl, went outside. There's a guy there on her porch. Impossible, right? Not when Hashem does things. Amalai, she said to him, Miata, who are you? Who brought you here? Amallah, Yehudi ani, mibnei Akko. I come from Akko. And I guess this bird, this huge eagle, brought me here. Okay, so what did she do? She said, go inside, take a shower. I guess there was some clothing there, whatever. Put on some clothing. And he was, after taking a shower and cleaning himself up, he was very, very handsome. That there wasn't a guy as handsome as him in the whole Klal Yisrael. So listen to the shidduch. You have a girl, the prettiest girl in Klal Yisrael, and now you have a boy who's the best looking guy in Klal Yisrael. And she fell in love with him. I'm reading you a Medrash Tanchuma. He was very sharp. He knew how to learn. He was a sofer. So she said to him, do you want to marry me? He said, of course I would want to marry you. So what did he do? Now you can't marry a girl in Yiddishkeit. Yes, he could give her, he had something worth something. It has to be worth a penny. So I'm sure he had something worth a penny. But you have to write a ksuva. You can't marry a girl without a ksuva. This is like the most amazing story you'll ever hear. So what did he do? He has to write her a ksuva. Heikis dam. He caused himself to bleed. The kasav l'ksuva umay amidamo, and he wrote the ksuva from his blood. Amazing. The kitcha, and he gave her the kedushin, and he said, the Eidim, the witnesses, are the angel Michal and Gabriel. Okay, so they're now on top. They have food. They have a bedroom. They're married. This Abra Mimenu, she becomes pregnant. Kishara says, Uberes, when the 70 guys on the bottom saw she was pregnant, which is impossible. Are you pregnant? She said, yes. They said to her, Miminis Abra, who got you pregnant? Why do you want to know? So the Zakanim became very scared, because if Shlomo Melech finds out his daughter's pregnant, they're going to think it was one of the Zakanim, he's going to kill them. So they got very, very scared. So they called Shlomo Melech. And he came by boat, and they said, we don't understand how, but your daughter's pregnant. When Shlomo Melech heard this, he called his daughter. Amalo, how'd you become pregnant? Amalo, Bachar Echad, Hevi Le'akadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem brought me this guy. Talmuda, he can learn. Sefer, he's a Sefer. Vikachani, he married me. Karol Bachar. So the king called the boy. Veherolei Haksuva Shekasev Libito, and the boy showed him the ksuva. The Shalolei Hamelech Al Aviv V'imo Val Mishpachtoi Me'ezeirhu. Shlomo Melech saw in the stars that the boy that she's going to marry is from Akko. The Samach Simcha Gedayla. Shlomo Melech became very happy, and he said, now I realize that if Hashem wants a shidduch, girls and boys who are listening, if Hashem wants a shidduch, you can build fences, be in the water, whatever you want. If Hashem wants to make it happen, it will happen. This is a medrash, tanchuma, a true story. So all of you that are out there, the COVID and everything that's going on, how am I going to date? How am I going to find a shidduch? Kosh Baruch Hu has his ways. I know that my sister-in-law, who was here before, Lisa Elephant, she told me that she just had a shidduch last night from Zoom. You got to believe. If Hashem wants it to happen, look what Shlomo Melech went through that it shouldn't happen, and it happened anyway. I'd like to tell you a story about a girl that I know very well, and I know that the story is true. And she came to the shadchan, and she came with her resume, and she puts her resume down, and she says, I want to marry Gadol Hadar. The shadchan said, the Gadol Hadar, you want to marry a Gadol Hadar? She said, I want the Gadol Hadar. She said, okay, let me see. You must be coming from very chashuv Rosh Hashivas and Gedolim. Let me see your resume. She looks at the resume. She says, are you Jewish? And the girl says, not yet. Want to marry a girl Adar? You're not even Jewish? She says, what did your father do? The girl says, well, my father's like a very big priest. I mean, like a cardinal. Like he's big. He's not just a priest. He's like a big priest. He also serves idols. She said, I'm sorry. I mean, I would love to help you, but where do you live? Oh, I live way out, like in South Dakota, like, I don't know, some way out town. Are there any yeshivas? Are there any Jews? Is Chabad there? Anything there? Nope. I've never seen a Jew before you. She says, you're not Jewish. Your father's a cardinal in the church and serves idols. You live in a town where there's no Jews, or even a state where there's no Jews at all, and you expect me to find you a Gadol Hadar? And she said yes. And everyone who's watching knows who this girl is. Her name was Tzipora. And she wanted the Gadol Hadar. And guess who she married? Moshe Rabbeinu. She wasn't Jewish. Her father was Yisro Kohen Midyan. He was the head of all the Avodah Zarah in the world. And there were no Jews in Midyan. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu went and brought Moshe Rabbeinu from Mitzrayim to the well to meet the daughters of Yisro. And then Tzipora fed him for, I think it was 12 years when he was in a dungeon. What I'm trying to tell all of you is that you need to want whatever you want, and if it's the right thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can deliver. Where else did this happen, everyone? By Rus. Rus came from Moab. Rus came from the worst place in the world. She came from Moab. There was a machlokas if you could even marry a girl from Moab. She came from Moab. Her husband's died. She had no money. Her mother-in-law was Naomi, who said, Ra, Amar, I had the most bitter life. I lost everything. She had no name. She wasn't Jewish when she came. And what did Hashem do? She ends up marrying Boaz, who was the head of Klal Yisrael. And this girl, who came from Moab, who had no chance, became Em HaMalchus, became the great-grandmother of David HaMelech, and the great-great-great-great-grandmother of Mashiach ben David. So when you think like, oh, I can't get this shidduch, no, there's no such thing. If Hashem has to have a bird fly this guy and drop him on your roof, check your roof every day. Maybe there's a guy on your porch, I don't know. But Hashem will do it. And if you come from Midian and your father, and your father's Yisrael, whatever it is, Hashem can do it. And Rus is called the Em HaMalchus. She didn't come from a Yichas Dika home. What I'm trying to tell everyone, and the same with the boys, what I'm trying to tell everyone is that, and that's going to be my last story, which is probably the most important story, that you just got to want it, and you got to daven to Hashem. And this day, you should just know that Tu B'Av is a Yantif. We don't say Tachanun. Now, there's very few days during the year that we don't say Tachanun in Shul. We don't say Tachanun. Only if it's a Yantif. What's the Yantif of Tu B'Av? What's the Yantif of Shidduchim? Why is that a Yantif? And I think that Tu B'Av is called one of the holiest days of the year, Yom Kippur and Tu B'Av. I like Yom Kippur and Tu B'Av because the girls on Tu B'Av switched the clothing. In other words, the rich girls gave the poor girls their clothing, the poor girls gave the rich girls their clothing, and when the guys went out to meet the girls, they didn't know who was rich, they didn't know who had yichus, they didn't know anything. To Hashem, when a Jew is willing to give up their social status so that another Jew who's not on that social status should be equal, that is the biggest, greatest yontif that exists. So tomorrow, well actually Wednesday, which is Tu B'Av, to Hashem is the holiest day. Because it doesn't matter whether you're beautiful, it doesn't matter whether you're rich, it doesn't matter who your parents are. That's a day that we show that we understand that Shidduchim come from Hashem. So I could give my beautiful dress, my designer dress and my beautiful makeup, and the guy could give his beautiful suit and his beautiful shoes and his expensive tie and his expensive watch to some other guy who can't afford it, because and not worry, oh, I'm not wearing such nice clothing, she's going to think this and that. Who cares? Because it's not up to her and it's not up to me, it's up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the emunah the belief of Tu B'Av is the same emunah that you have on Yom Kippur. Therefore, it's a yantiv that we don't say Tachna. And I want to tell you something else that people don't know. And that is that Chasidim on Tu B'Av begin to say Kesiva v'Chasima Taiva. Chasidim begin, why Kesiva v'Chasima Taiva? Because that's the day to get written into the good books. That's the day to understand that God is the one that makes Shidduchim. As you heard in these stories. Another story about a shachin, not such a great story about a shachin, but I don't know who the shachin is, so it doesn't matter. So I know this girl, and she comes from a very a dysfunctional home, and a lot of tragedy in the home, and no money, and no support, and brothers and sisters that are off the derech, and really a tough resume, Anyway, she came to the shachin. I don't know who the shachin is. Not important. It's definitely not any of the shadchanim that we work with. And put down her resume. And the shachin looked at the resume and said,